What's up, guys? It's Dan from BeAGameCharacter.com, and we're back for another edition of Q&A Tuesday. Got some good questions for today, and let's just get right into them. First, we'll start with email questions. Narcissus4520 said, "What would you say is the most important skill to develop?" Well, of course, we do lots of skill tutorials on Be a Game Character, and, frequently focus on martial arts or developing something, along those lines, or just, exceeding normal human limitations for certain skills and abilities. But I would say that the most important skill to develop is willpower. Specifically, the will to endure and maintain a positive outlook on things. Because basically, in life, you're going to get stuff thrown at you. It's just what happens. Good things happen, bad things happen. Bad things, unfortunately, usually happen more often than the good things do. So I would say the most important thing would be the ability to endure the bad things and still remain a happy, positive person. And it's a skill. You got to practice it. It's very easy to go the other way with it when bad stuff happens, wallow in self-pity, feel upset or sad about things. But the fact is, you need to be able to keep on trucking and maintain a positive outlook, because as soon as you stop being positive about things, then you start to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're worrying about stuff, you're concerned about things. The more you think about something, the more likely it's going to happen. So if you don't stay positive about stuff, you stand a much better chance of, things going downhill than if you stay positive. So that's what I would say the most important skill to develop is the will to endure and stay positive about life in general. Moving on to YouTube, on another video, Laura Smith, hi, I hope you don't mind me adding this in here, commented, said, "Hey, I was wondering, I really want to gain weight, but I also train for parkour." That's fine. Not a big deal. I mean, granted, the more weight you're hauling around, the harder it is to, the more taxing it is on your body. But to gain enough weight to make yourself actually inhibited from doing parkour would be very, very difficult. If you're interested in something cool, go look up Jujimufu, Jujimufu, on YouTube. He's a really, pretty bulky, strong guy who is also ridiculously agile and acrobatic. There's videos of him doing aerials and backflips and stuff like that, which I know isn't strictly parkour, but just to show you the idea. So the basic idea is, first of all, Laura Smith, you're a girl, so that means that you're going to have a harder time gaining a lot of weight. You're going to be able to gain weight, no problem, just like anybody else. But as far as getting big and bulky goes, you don't have testosterone pump through your system like guys do, so you have a harder time gaining a lot of weight. So getting yourself up to a decent, BMI, where you got some good muscles going and stuff like that, that's totally fine. You should get nowhere near heavy enough to make parkour a difficult prospect for you. And in fact, very often when bulking up and training to get stronger, your parkour will get better because you're going to be stronger on the whole. Your muscles will be more explosive, you got, better endurance, you've got more strength for pushing off of things, pulling yourself up on things, stuff like that. So I wouldn't sweat it. In fact, Dana Lynn Bailey, DLB, who is a very famous female bodybuilder and, definitely large for a woman, actually competed on American Ninja Warrior. She was just at Houston, and I don't know how she did. They can't air the results yet, obviously, but I follow her on Facebook and stuff, and she competed, and she's got videos of her training for American Ninja Warrior, if you look up Dana Lynn Bailey. And you can check that out, and she's got some, cool videos. So obviously she's not limited by, her muscles and her probably higher than average weight for a woman. So, you shouldn't have an issue either. And guys, don't worry about weight training either. It's just going to make you stronger. As I read in a fitness group that I'm a part of, you can't accidentally Arnold yourself. So, as in Arnold Schwarzenegger. So don't sweat that too much. Okay, so moving on from YouTube, we got a Facebook question from Gilver. Recent theoretical biology and physics suggests the human top speed is around 40 miles per hour, which no one is known to have even come close to. As a fitness and functionality expert, do you have any thoughts on how to realize this potential? Well, I looked up the article, because I hadn't heard that myself yet, so I looked up the article and read up on it. And what it looks like is basically they found that previously they thought that our sprinting speed was limited by how much force we could exert upon the ground. Because that's directly proportional how fast you can go is how much force you can push down on the ground with to propel yourself forward. And what they found was that our legs are capable of exerting about 30% more force than we normally exert when sprinting. Even top sprinters, Usain Bolt, you know, that we can exert more force. And they found that actually by making people hop on one leg, because when you hop on one leg, you have to exert more force than if you're running on two. And they found that even top sprinters exerted about 30% more force when hopping on one leg than they did when running on two, which means that our muscles and our skeletons and our musculature are not what's limiting us from putting out that extra 30% of force. So what actually they discovered is that what's limiting us from our top speed right now is our contact time with the ground. Basically, in order to achieve a higher level of speed, we need to exert either the same amount of force in a shorter amount of time when our foot is touching the ground, or ramp up the force in the same amount of time that we're touching the ground. In either of those cases, what we would need to do is develop faster twitching muscle fibers and more of them. Now, there is a muscle fiber out there that theoretically could do it, that we have. It's called type 2X, but it's not that common in our muscles, and we don't really have that much of a way of increasing it. They found that, you know, doing extreme maximal force training, as in, like, you know, you squat and sprint as much and as fast as you can, and then resting for a couple of weeks, can nominally increase your 2X muscle fibers, but your rest of your muscle fibers will suffer as a result from the time off, so it'd be kind of a trade-off. So basically, what we would need to do is find a faster way to make our muscles contract, or develop a running gait that puts us in contact with the time and puts us in contact with the ground for less time than we do right now, which it'd be kind of difficult. We're looking kind of into the realms of science fiction right now. You'd have to be able to increase your type 2X muscle fibers, or basically change your overall musculature to be more like that of, say, a cheetah's, where, you know, you'd basically be running on all fours, which doesn't really make sense. So right now, no one really knows how, outside of increasing 2X muscle fiber, which, how would we do that? But that's what we would kind of need to do. So basically, that's what the study said, is we could run at 35 to 40 miles per hour if we could make our muscles contract fast enough. As in, the force that we're putting out isn't what's limiting us, it's how fast we can contract those muscles and put our feet in contact with the ground and lift them back off again. Excellent question. It was a really cool study. Enjoyed reading up on it, so thanks. Alright, so moving on to the forums. Amalema asks, do these questions have to be nutrition/exercise related? Nope. Ken033 asks, is it true there is a spot in a man's brain that if shot will make his head explode? Nope. What game character has your favorite fighting style? Asks Vincent Madden. My favorite fighting style for a game character, I would say, would be Kratos from God of War. It's completely unrealistic. You know, slinging, you know, his blades around, first of all, it defies all laws of physics, the way those things interact with things. But then, you know, you have like combos where you're hovering in the air and grabbing a minotaur by his hoof and slamming him into the ground around you, and it's just ridiculously cartoonish, and I love it. Like, Kratos' combat style is just so ridiculously brutal and completely unrealistic. It's awesome. I love it. I have so much fun playing the God of War games. I mean, I'm not a huge God of War fanatic. Like, I don't like go nuts over the series itself, but the combat is so much fun that just, you know, I enjoy it. So many people in the fitness community argue about which is better, the squat or the deadlift. What's your opinion? They're two different exercises, and they develop your body differently. That's a cop-out answer. Basically, they're both really, really good. I personally prefer the deadlift just because I like picking stuff up and putting it down again. Yeah, there's that joke. But they develop different muscles. Your squats are going to develop your legs a bit more than your deadlifts could ever hope to. However, your deadlifts are going to allow you to move more maximal weight, and they're going to work your back a bit more. So, I mean, I recommend doing both as part of any weight training regimen. Just not on the same day, because they do tax some of the same muscles. You know, just to insert a caveat there, you sometimes do train them on the same day depending on what your goals are. But if you're looking for just straight strength development, I would recommend doing them on different days because they work different muscles and they work some of the same muscles. So by working the same muscles twice in one day, you are taking away from some of the juice that you got for working those other muscles that they don't work together. So I would say do them on different days. You know, split your leg days up, do deadlifts on one leg day, and do your deadlifts on back day, or if you're doing a push pull split, do deadlifts on your pull day. You know, whatever, because really they should both be done. They're both excellent exercises, and I wouldn't say one is better than the other unless you're asking for specific goals, like, you know, deadlift is better for developing your back, or squats are better for developing your legs. Both of those things would be true. And finally, from Vincent Madden, what game character do you find the most motivating and or inspiring? I would say Bubble Man from the Mega Man series, because he knows his powers suck. He knows his gun is awful. He's not going to win that fight, but he fights Mega Man anyway. It's honestly really inspiring. No, I'm just kidding. Most motivating and or inspiring. That's tough. Radun Hagedun, aka Connor from the Assassin's Creed series, is very inspiring just because we talked about the will to endure things and still remain positive. Holy crap. Like, you think about the stuff that dude's gone through. You know, his people getting, you know, pushed out of their own land and or, you know, murdered. And, you know, the father relations, you know, and plus the whole, you know, assassin order. You know, he doesn't have the same support that Ezio did back, you know, over in Italy, so, you know, there's a lot less people over there. So he's a really cool character because he perseveres through a lot of adversity. Master Chief from the Halo series, also very inspiring character. You know, he pretty much embodies the one man against all kind of archetype, where, you know, he's literally got an entire alliance of alien races bearing down on him, and he has to stand against them pretty much alone. Everybody around him that he tries to, you know, save ends up dying a lot, and he ends up being the last one standing basically every single time. Yeah, I would say it would come down to either one of those two. Connor from Assassin's Creed, or Master Chief from the Halo series, just for their, you know, enduring adversity and still managing to kick ass and take names. So that's it for Q&A Tuesday this week. Great questions. If you've got any questions that you would like to see answered next week, please go ahead and ask in the comments below. Or you can also go on the forums and hit up the forum thread, which I'll be making after this. Or you can email me or hit me up on social media, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. You know, basically anywhere. If it comes in and it's a question, I will answer it on the air here live for you. So that's it. I'll see you again on Thursday for The Mind of Raoh. Am I pronouncing that right? Raoh? I just realized I never actually said it out loud. I've just been typing it a lot. And then Saturday, we've got another video coming up. And then Monday, we'll have a new character next week. So go check out the forum poll, which I'm also going to be setting up after this for the new character. As always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome.